It's now my pleasure to welcome to Midday Oasis the wonderful mezzo-soprano Laura Mercado-Wright. And she has been singing with groups in town for many years. You may know her from singing with Conspirare and the Tinsel Singers, but she is with a group that was formed just 3 years ago titled VAMP, and KMFA will be presenting concerts Friday and Saturday evening at the Draylen Mason Music Studio as part of our Offbeat series presented by Estes Audiology. And the performances will take place at 7 p.m. with a pre-concert chat at 6 p.m. Welcome again, Laura.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, so much to say. I'm reading about VAMP. It was conceived pre-pandemic and born in March of 2020, a month that will remain in infamy for most of us.
Yes.
VAMP is a vocal quintet of formidable female artists touring touting a motley songbook and a bold red lip. And I can see your lips are red. That's a catchy phrase, but why did you, I think it tells us something about the group. What does it tell us?
Thank you. I think we really wanted to define ourselves as an ensemble that was not singing any particular kind of music, but felt sort of self-determined and self-driven and self-defined. And we just thought something bold was the way to go. And it left it open for us to be as creative as we wanted to with programming. We're really interested in singing music by female identifying composers in particular. So this project that was formed by Adrienne Pedrati Bingaman, and she invited the rest of us to participate. It was really about empowering ourselves as women and creating an ensemble that was only women and only women making the decisions. And that was really the concept.
That's pretty awesome. And the other singers include Mary Elizabeth Ashton, soprano, Katrina Sapor-Santos, soprano, Paige Stevens, mezzo-soprano, and all fine singers in your own right. You can be doing anything. You all teach vocals and such. But this particular group is just astounding. The precision and the beauty of what you bring. I can't wait for folks to hear you if they have not yet done so. But you started this group, or you said Adrienne started the group in 2020 March. We all know what happened there. That was, of course, the beginning of the pandemic.
And in fact, our first rehearsal was scheduled for March 15th.
Oh my gosh.
And we talked and we were so afraid and we cried and we said, you know what, we're going to rehearse anyway. And we went to the parking garage at Austin ISD Performing Arts Center, and we stood 20 feet away from each other and gave air hugs and said, all right, what are we singing? And it was our weekly refuge from all of the turmoil of that time. And we spent, until we got vaccinated, we spent our time rehearsing in that parking garage.
That's tremendous.
And it was a really important time for us musically because like a real band, we were just meeting with no agenda of performance on the horizon, no idea what was going to happen next, even just in our lives in general. And it was just this really grounding experience for all of us.
Do you remember the first song or piece you sang?
It might have been a Monteverdi. We've done some early music and we've done some brand new stuff. But I will say both Adrienne and I almost immediately started composing and arranging for the ensemble. And Adrienne had done it before, but I had not. So it was just sort of a brand new, what the heck, I have nothing else going on sort of experience. And it's become something that really defines my role in VAMP. And I've started to write for other ensembles and other instrumentation, in particular on this project. We're collaborating for the first time with an instrumentalist, with Carolyn Trowbridge, who's a wonderful marimba and vibraphone player. And we just sort of jumped in and said, well, we want to collaborate with you. Will you help us learn how to write for your instrument? She was so generous with her time and attention and just explaining, okay, well, this is a bit pianistic. Let's change it to this. And so we've really learned a lot in that experience.
We'll delve into more of the music plan for tomorrow and Saturday night's performances here at KMFA. Let's listen to VAMP. And this is one of my favorite works. It's by Sir Charles Villiers Stanford, The Bluebird, with words by Mary, Mary Elizabeth, Coleridge. And
that's it.
This arrangement by Robert
Nottingham, I believe.
Thank you. And here is VAMP with The Bluebird. The Bluebird by Sir Charles Villiers Stanford, performed by VAMP. And I'm really proud to say VAMP is a local ensemble and here to tell us all about the upcoming concerts that will take place in the Drayland Mason Music Studio tomorrow and Saturday night at 7 p.m. And the title is Between the Worlds. And this is part of our Offbeat series. Here with me is Laura Mercado-Wright, mezzo-soprano, and she was doing those low notes on that last piece, as she does so well.
Thank you. Yeah. That's my spot in this group for the most part.
Well, I'm guessing Between the Worlds, the title of the concert has to do with what you were saying a bit earlier, that you don't want to get stuck in one type of music. Is there more to it than that?
In one way, yeah, there is more to it. This concert actually started almost as a joke. We were talking about how difficult it is to find music written for five treble voices, and often it's sort of this niche of it's about flowers and young girls, or it's about witches. And then we thought, we were at Adrienne's house one evening having rehearsal, and she happens to have this crystal ball. I can't tell you why, but it sort of played into this idea of, ooh, what if we had a seance concert, and it could be spooky. So we were sort of going in almost this Halloween direction, but then we started thinking about actual repertoire and talking to composers who had expressed interest in writing for us. And Adrienne Inglis, who is a wonderful composer here, one of the founders of Inversion Ensemble. Right. She said, well, seances aren't always sort of silly or, what you see in the movies. In her family, there is a story of her first cousin who actually died when the USS Thresher imploded in 1963. And her cousin's father, her uncle, actually received visits from the spirit of his son and wrote about it. And Adrienne said, I would love to set the writings of my uncle about my cousin and about these visits that they had, these chats and these communications. And that just gave us all chills. And we said, oh, this can be not silly. We can do something that's quite profound. And so from there, that really sort of created a centerpiece for the concert. And we started looking for other repertoire that wasn't literally about the, this world and the sort of after death, but also between this world and the world of nature, or between our inner selves and society, or these sort of things. So it's more about between the worlds of, our different perceptions. Beautiful. And the lyric Between the Worlds is actually in a piece by Maura Smiley, who is just such an incredible musician and composer and singer and performer. And she wrote a piece called Bellow. And I was introduced to it when Conspirare sang it on our last Christmas concert. And so I wrote to Maura and I said, could we figure out a way to do this for five treble voices and marimba and clappers, which are written into the score.
With marimba
so that's where that title comes from.
Well, we do have y'all singing another work, The Smell of Rain. This is a piece by Peter Stopczynski.
Yeah, and the relevance of this is that the Bluebird that you played a moment ago, we performed here at KMFA's unofficial South by Southwest concert in the spring. And the next morning, Peter was at that concert, and the next morning he emailed us and said, I was so moved, I wrote you this song. And this is what he wrote. Yeah.
That was The Smell of Rain. I call that petrichor, but The Smell of Rain by Peter Stopczynski, which he wrote for the ensemble you just heard, VAMP, and they will be performing. VAMP will be performing tomorrow night and Saturday night, 7 p.m. at the Drayland Mason Music Studio. You can buy tickets on our website, KMFA.org. It also includes a little bit of this and that, some complimentary sips with your ticket. But there will be a pre-concert talk at 6 p.m. So come early, get to hang out with some of the KMFA people and other audience members, meet the singers. I will be chatting with Adrienne Pedrati Bingaman and
actually it's Adrienne Inglis. We have two Adriennes.
Oh,
it's
you
the
do
composer
have two.
Adrienne Inglis.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just copied and pasted something incorrectly.
Oh no.
Okay. And Laura Mercado-Wright, and we will be chatting with them. And you can ask some questions too. I'll save just a couple minutes, so if you have questions for the singers, that would be awesome. You said you've been writing music for the program, and it started in 2020.
Yes.
VAMP, and you started writing music, and now you have several pieces featured in the program.
I do.
Does it just get easier and easier to write, or more ideas start flowing?
I don't know if it gets, yes, it has gotten a little bit easier, mostly because I've been able to focus my writing on these 5 voices, my voice and the 4 others. So that does make it easier. Also, part of what makes that process easy is that I can bring sketches, I can bring a first draft and say, sing through this for me and let me know what you think. And we have a trust built where they can say, we love this. I don't know that this works. What if you did this? And so it becomes really collaborative very early in the process, which is such a luxury.
Right.
Because the few times I've written for other groups, I really miss that step of, well, hang on, I got to make sure it works before I, send it out the door. So it's really ideal, I think.
Well, what are your plans for VAMP?
What a great question. I'll tell you, our immediate plans are to have a retreat next weekend and to talk about our plans.
Wow.
So we try to do this at least once a year. It's just to get together sort of in a location that doesn't belong to any of us, nobody's house, just a sort of neutral space where we can do some fun things. We'll cook, we'll chat, we'll, get in the pool or whatever. But also we spend some time just talking about what a whirlwind year or 2 this has been, and where are we going next, and how are we going to carve out time in our lives for it, and some of us are bigger thinkers and some of us are like, let's stay small. So we're just trying to, reconcile all of that. And with 5 people, it's a lot of personality, it's a lot of opinions, and it's a lot of different ideas. And so we have to really talk through it in detail. So I can't tell you, but I will tell you, we do have a few shows coming up early in the spring. In February, we have 2 shows. One is with Austin Civic Orchestra.
I saw that, yeah.
And I've been commissioned to write short interludes, like minute-long interludes, to go between the movements of Holst's The Planets.
Oh, my goodness.
For VAMP to sing. So I'm in the middle of writing that. And then directly after that, just a few weeks later, we are part of Austin Classical Guitar's big concert, which is going to be a huge project with their composer in residence this year, which is Rina Esmail.
Oh, she's amazing.
So we're thrilled to be singing and working with her. So we'll meet her in a few weeks and start working on that.
Exciting. And somehow, when you're not doing all of this, you also sing with Conspirare.
Yes.
You sing with the Tinsel Singers, and you teach some 20 students. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. Okay. We all have, I think, going on 5 jobs each.
I believe
it's the life of a gigging musician.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming in today to tell us about the concerts tomorrow night and Saturday night as part of KMFA's Offbeat series. 7 p.m. starts for both. The title is Between the Worlds. We'll get to hear VAMP, and you'll get to meet them before the show and hang out a little bit after and talk to them.
Wonderful.
Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you so much.
I will get you to introduce this final piece.
This is called Silver Dagger. It's a traditional Appalachian tune that was arranged by Linda Kackelmeyer, and the opening solo is Paige Stevens.